Well, because I know what you do. Part of it, and it's probably subconscious, is that you have a nice place on a lake.
Yeah.
Okay. That builds in your kids' mind, grandkids' mind, that's an option in the future. And they need to be able to see that and say, I want this. Yeah, I want this to happen for me.
That is true. I've been very blessed, and so I do have a nice cabin on a lake that I try to make super fun, so that all of my grandkids will pester their parents. We want to go there, right? And so I've intentionally built and designed it to make it kid friendly and enticing.
Right.
I remember years and years ago, I had an uncle. Yeah, a very close uncle, more like an older brother type uncle, right? And he also had a cabin on a lake. And he mentioned to me once, this was many years ago, he said to me, Murray, that cabin on the lake is probably the worst financial decision I ever made. But he said it was the best family decision I ever made. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And so when I had a chance to duplicate that, I knew that financially this was a stupid move. But I wasn't investing in finances. I was investing in my family and investing in my children and my grandchildren and giving them that opportunity. And that's paid off for me, actually. I was really pleased over the last couple of years now, as my grandchildren get older and they're starting to have their birthday parties. And who do they want to invite? They want to invite their cousins.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And they'd have never done that if I hadn't built the cabin and tried to bring them all together so they could create that friendship.
Right.
And, even when the 7-year-old wants to invite his 10-year-old cousin to his birthday party, and better yet, the 10-year-old cousin wants to go to the 7-year-old's birthday party.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's when I knew that I started to achieve some success. So, but fortunately, I was blessed financially that I was allowed to do that for them. So
yeah, and also you're providing an example to the kids as to what their world can be like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad did almost the exact opposite. He used to work for the Alberta penal system, essentially, for the Solicitor General. And he used to take us on his business trips occasionally to maximum institutions. Oh. So we got to interact with people who had made some really terrible decisions in life. And it was a real kick in the butt to think, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do.
That would be
when
effective.
I'm that guy's age.
Yeah.
And we would follow these guys around when they were doing highway service work, or, I was there when the alarm went off, everyone in your cell, gates closed, that's life. And, it was a good wake up call. It was almost a Scared Straight. I don't know, where'd Scared Straight go?
Yeah.
It used to be around all the time, and now we don't talk about it. But yeah, it was a Scared Straight deal.
What an effective, I'm impressed.
Yeah. But he kind of had this other middle ground where he would haggle like crazy on everything. So then I kind of learned a bit of the haggling thing, although people may disagree, but I think I did learn that, there's bargains to be had and stuff. So, but that was a bit of the, how to deal with not having enough money to get stuff. It was kind of a weird lesson to learn, as opposed to having this abundant sort of thinking of, let's buy a boat, It was a different kind of thinking. Although he probably could have afforded a boat because he had apartment buildings, he probably could have afforded a boat. So,
but it wasn't important to him.
Yeah, no.
Right?
No.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I think what was important was his little family, his, So it was a good lesson. We didn't have a cabin, but we got to stay in hotels.
Yeah. Exactly.
We didn't have to mow the lawn at the hotel.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Cabins come at a price that's not just money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's expensive. So, but you enjoy it, and it's good for the kids. It's good for the grandkids. Yeah. It provides. We've been there. Yeah. It's been fun. Well, I was there in version 1.0.
Oh, okay.
Haven't seen version 2.0.
Haven't seen the new one?
No.
Yeah, it's quite different.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's exciting. Well, so one other topic that we had talked about too is about this investing piece where, I'm sure, part of buying the milk first is the part of you got to put money into something, you got to invest.
Right.
Yeah. And whether it's investing in a business that provides some kind of annuitized income or whatever the case may be, what's the, I think kids are they're seeing so many messages about investing now. Just throw your money into this. It's going to be great. So, and I look at my son was like, I don't know what to do for investing. It was an interesting conversation because I hadn't had that conversation with someone his age or that mattered to me really. So I don't know, what would you tell kids to invest in, or not? Don't give us any stock tips, but like, do you invest? Do you go in stocks? Do you throw it in GICs? Do you buy a business? Like, what's the game plan now?
Well,
cryptocurrency, of course.
I've done all of the above.
Yeah.
And the advice I give, I try not to give specific investment advice. I don't give stock tips. I don't do this. I don't do that. But what I do say is invest in what you know. Mm-hmm. Invest in what you understand, and do your homework and do your research. Mm-hmm. And never invest something in anything that you can't afford to lose. Mm-hmm. If the size of your investment in any particular investment is such that you're going to start stressing and losing sleep over it, you've invested too much. Mm-hmm. So you better to break it out and make a couple of smaller investments. And in my book, I talk about how once, I don't know how I got conned into it, but I did. And I got conned into buying some copper options. Mm-hmm. Okay, smooth talking salesman out of New York, I think.
Sure.
Okay, and so I wired the money. What did I know? At that point in my life, did I know anything about options? No. Right. Did I know anything about the copper industry? No. Did I know anything about mining? No. What the heck was I doing investing in copper options? Yeah. Right? Totally unqualified. Yeah. Right? Totally unqualified. And so I got what I deserved. I lost it all.
Did you really?
Lost it all.
Holy crap.
Right?
Yeah.
And but I did do one thing right. Mm-hmm. I only invested a small amount of money that I could afford to lose.
Right.
And so what I got out of that was an expensive education.
Yeah.
But in the long term, probably saved me multiples of that, because I only invested a small amount in an area that I had no right to invest in. And so I didn't make that mistake again.
Right.
And hopefully that therefore prevented me from making the same mistake but with bigger dollars. Mm-hmm. So it's important to understand what you're investing in, and even if you do, you're still going to lose money sometimes. Right. You're not perfect. I remember another time I invested some stock in a publicly traded company. Okay. This time I did know what I was investing in. I did do my research, okay? I was several years down the road from the first time, okay? I had a lot more experience. I understood the business. It was an oil field service business. Mm-hmm. I'd done my research. I'd reviewed their financial statements. I was very qualified to review financial statements, okay? And I said, this makes a lot of sense. The service they're providing is value. Okay? And so I invested some money, okay? Well, what I didn't know was that the financial statements, audited by a Big Four accounting firm, very reputable firm, okay, there was management fraud. Ugh. The financial statements were fraudulent.
The worst.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I invested, and shortly after I invested, it comes out that it's all a fraud, okay? And management had been lying and manipulating the statements. They'd been lying to the auditors. I lost it, okay? So again, that time, I think I had done everything right. Right. I had done, I was knowledgeable. I did everything right, and I still lost it. The copper one, I did nothing right and lost it. Yeah. This other stock investment, I did everything right and still lost it. Right. But in both cases, it was a small portion. Yeah. So, was I happy? No. But did I lose any sleep over it? No.
Yeah. I think what I've seen is, there's these waves of, you got to get on this investment path, and then it gets very exciting and the market's talking about it a lot, but it's usually pretty hyped up. Yeah. And then you usually don't succeed well in those environments.
I just tell people to invest in what they know. And so a few examples. I got one buddy, Okay. And I've known him for, I don't know, 30, 40 years, however long. And we were professionals together. He was a lawyer. I was an accountant. Mm-hmm. But any time he went to buy something, he always asked himself this question, I could take that $10,000 and use that as a down payment and buy a condo.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
And so he would always buy the condo. Okay? And by the time he was in his 50s, he owned like 100 different pieces of real estate.
Wow.
Okay?
That's amazing. And
so, but he did that over time. That's what he knew.
Yeah.
Okay? He became a multimillionaire. $10,000 at a time investing in condos. That's what he knew.
Right.
Okay? I had another friend who I was talking to him once. He was an entrepreneur, had his own business, and I was chatting with him about where does he invest his money? And his answer was he invested in his own business.
Right.
He's ran the numbers. He can get a 26% return
Sure.
by investing in his own business because it was growing. He says, I can't match that return anywhere else. Okay? So he invested in his own, but he was investing in what he knew.
Right.
Okay?
And of course, the brilliance of that is if you invest in your own business, only you are responsible to screw it up.
Right.
Like, if I invest in some guy's business, I don't even know the guy. Even if I understand his business, the value of that investment is based on what you think, what some guy in another country thinks, what they do in the business, what happens in the economy.
Right.
That's challenging.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Craig. Thanks for watching this episode. I have a number of really interesting people that I'm going to be speaking with over the next while. Don't miss an episode. They're going to be great. If you have a chance, jump over to the partnerstaffing.com website. All the links to the videos that we're doing that are employment related will be there. Anyways, hit subscribe. Special thanks to our editor, Chris Filosovich. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Craig out.